All right, Zippy.
Oh, George.
Ooh, steam sail.
If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.
We stand for Queen,
Country, and video games. BRB UK.
worse teeth.
Better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 249. That's one before we achieve our intermediate final form, which will then be replaced with another final form at some multiple of 50, maybe 300 if we get that far. But we almost didn't, because it was too hot this week in the land of the UK. And this is BigRedBarel UK. I am Dan, I'm your host. I am sweating still in places I didn't know had pores.
You've got to have paws.
Yeah, I am.
You're a bear.
Oh, by the way, that's Coleman.
Hi.
And the other one's Tim.
Hello.
And can we just agree that we were all unpleasantly moist this week?
No.
I'm all right today, actually.
Really? No, today's been better, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
Yesterday
was bad.
I almost passed out from playing the PlayStation 4. Because I think the thermal paste in my PS4 needs changing, so it kicks out quite a bit of heat. And the other day, I got an overheating message. So
awesome.
I turned the console around so the fans faces outwards, but that meant that it faced me
And nearly died.
with the heat, and then the longer I was playing, it just like blasting hot air at me, and I realised that I blacked out slightly for twice, and then went, I'm gonna stop playing the computer now.
All I will say, right, your PlayStation has started to die roughly at the same time as it entered Tim's flat. I'm not wrong here, am
I
I?
said that before, and it's not true. It was dying before it got here. And mine is the only PS4 currently in this flat that's not dying.
No, it was perhaps it had a little cough. Your house has basically got it on the ventilator, I'm not going to lie. Your house is killing Coleman's PlayStation 4.
It was already dying before it got here.
Oh, but you've killed it. Something can be almost dying, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to die. What you've done is just killed it. Your flat has killed his PlayStation. He's at a very delicate point in his life, and you're killing his PlayStation, Timothy. You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
Whenever I switch it on, it cries in pain of the extreme work from the fan. And that cry sounds like this.
Have you ever cleaned the dust out your PS4?
Yeah, I did it yesterday. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So you thought, I've nearly fainted through playing the PS4. What I'm going to do is asphyxiate myself with a metric ton of dust that's going to kick up from it.
Yeah, I did clean it out. There was a lot of dust in there, because that's the two usual causes of noisy PS4s, is the dust around the extractor fan, or it's
and mounting it on your face. That also makes it loud, relatively speaking.
That might be a bit of a problem, yeah. I mean, if you put it on your ear directly, you'd hear that. But the other problem is thermal paste dries, cracks, comes off, you need to replace it, but I don't trust myself to try replace the thermal paste.
I can do it.
Can you really? Oh, because you built a PC.
I have put thermal paste on a computer now.
Builder to do it.
I have made it a computer that involved thermal paste.
So cleaning the dust out is 4 screws. Changing the thermal paste is a lot more work.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was considering blowing the dust out of my PS4, but...
Is that a euphemism?
Eating my dust.
No. Only if you combine those two things is it a full-blown euphemism. But I heard that because you need to peel the warranty stickers off the back, don't you?
I've heard that.
Yes, you do. But I've had the PS4. It's got to be 3 years now, so be out of the warranty.
But I've heard that even if you try and resell it after that, if they see that you haven't got the warranty stickers on, you're buggered.
The likeliness is that I won't sell it. It will pack out, and I'll have to buy a new one. Then if I try selling it anyway, I've got problems.
Fair enough. So anyway, the heat. It's a bad thing. I'm not designed for heat.
Neither is the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I tell you what, it doesn't lend itself well to wanting to play VR as well, I've discovered this week.
Oh, mate, it must be like a greenhouse for your eyeballs in there.
Well, PSVR is much better for that than the Oculus and the Vive generally, but... yeah, it's still not what you want in this when it's extremely hot.
It was my first. I might say it's my first summer in about 17 years where I haven't had to get on the tube, and that is bloody marvellous.
Yeah,
I'm
not a fan of the tube right now.
No, the tube right now is inhumane. quite frankly. Legally, apparently, you wouldn't be allowed to transport cattle in it. I mean, obviously, that you've got bigger problems if you're taking a cow to work. Because very few workplaces have bring your cow to work day. But yeah, mind you, it'll probably get you a bit of room, and especially if you did a big dirty cow pat on the floor as well. Be like, right, my spot.
Remember when we used to talk about video games?
Yeah, video games. Do you want to do some news, Coleman?
Okay, so remember a little while ago we spoke about Squeenix unceremoniously dumping IO Interactive?
Boo!
Yeah, so
By
we didn't
text and everything. The slutty harlot.
We didn't really know what was going to go on with IO. We didn't know what was going to go on with the Hitman license.
But I've got a feeling you might know now, Coleman.
We do know now. I know,
So
and I'm going to convey that
with your
information
knowledge stick.
to
Hit me
you.
with it.
Okay.
Hit me. Hit me.
So IO Interactive, it was rumoured that they were going to be bought up. Microsoft was a big name that might be picking them up, but instead they've announced that they're going solo. They're staying independent.
Yay!
But they've also worked out a deal with Square Enix where they've actually bought the license. They 100% own the Hitman license now. So
also good news.
it's very likely, because they've actually given away the first episode of season 1, or well, what's meant to be season 1 of the Hitman game. So you can actually play that for free for a limited time, and there's a lot of speculation where they're going to build on that initial open-worldy Hitman type game and then keep stretching it into a series like a game service, like a Destiny or something.
Platform.
But yeah, it's good news. That means we get more Hitman games, and
It's good news if you're IO Interactive. Whoever is in charge of maintaining IP at Squeenix has done a terrible job there, I'm not going to lie. They were a little bit asleep at the wheel, but it's good for us, and it's good for IO Interactive. That is fantastic news.
From what we've seen before, the kind of unrealistic standards they hold their sales to, because like the Tomb Raider games, they've sold incredibly well, but they've missed Square Enix's lofty targets. So I'm assuming Hitman didn't sell as well as Square Enix wanted it to, and that's kind of what's kicked this whole thing off, if I were to guess.
But does anything in the world of Square Enix? Does it sell enough? No, it probably doesn't.
Well, no, because Deus Ex didn't. That's been shelved. Tomb Raider, well, I guess Tomb Raider's the most successful one out of the three.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't bring IO into possibly making one of the Marvel license games that they've just got access to, basically. I'm also surprised that more companies don't do what IO Interactive did in this position, where you buy yourself out and buy the license of your game and get on with it.
God knows how much that cost them. Has there been any news about the amount of money that must have changed hands? Because I can't imagine Hitman comes cheap. I mean, it's going to cost more than the season pass for the game, let's face it. That's reasonable. So we're looking at somewhere above 30 quid for buying the Hitman license.
Well, you never know. It might be one of those things where it just worked out that they didn't have to pay a massive amount of money and it made more sense than them spending time looking for another buyer type thing. Don't know exactly how it was structured, whether it was a straight management buyout or whether they just got finance from somewhere else to buy the license and the company back. Don't know. But yeah, as I said, it's a good idea, and I don't understand why more companies in similar positions don't do similar, basically.
Well, it's good news all round.
It is good news all round, Coleman.
Do you want to know what else is good news?
What else is good news, Coleman? Tell me.
Those ugly Xbox avatars that look like they really wanted to be a me killer from 2008. That's finally getting a massive overhaul.
Oh.
And they look great.
Say what, son?
It's called Avatar 2.0 internally, apparently.
Wow, my God, that's so 2007. That's amazing.
It's so 2000 and late, my friend. 2000 and late.
2000 and late .0, I think you'll find.
Have you seen the trailer at all for these? Because they
I
look
have.
stunning. They're kind of like the Overwatch style of animation-looking characters.
Which I think is really good, because I don't think enough games go that route, where that's a very good way to avoid the uncanny valley, is to make stuff slightly larger than life, a slightly cartoony, caricature-y thing. It stops things just looking damn weird.
Yeah.
And I think they're lovely bits of graphic design. Well, I mean, they're so much more customizable. It's like, basically, avatars are you short, or are you tall, are you fat, are you thin? Oh, here's some random hair and stuff. Whereas this, I think just about every kind of body shape's possible, isn't it?
Yeah, you can be pregnant, you can have...
Can men be pregnant?
I did see that documentary called Junior, so I reckon you can do it.
Do you reckon I can? Because, right, Coleman, I'm a doctor, right, and I reckon I've got the power, I can make it happen.
Okay.
All I need to do is have sex with myself.
You're getting impregnated by your Xbox
I mean, judging by some of the...
sex.
Judging by some of the iTunes reviews we've had in the past, I mean, you've kind of been told to do that a few times.
No. I've been called someone who may enjoy a menage a une. This is true.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. You can also have prosthetic limbs. You could, false arm, false leg, and you can have wheelchairs for your characters as well. But the big thing as well is lots of people liked having props and objects for their avatars, and that seems to be really worked on now. Like, you can ride unicorns and stuff, and it just looks really impressive, the amount of customization you can do in this game now. Not game, with these characters now.
Well, one thing I really, really hope they bring back, and I thought was one of the best features of the avatars, but from back in the day with the 360, was the achievements that had an avatar item with them. Like, I think Left 4 Dead 2 had some, Crackdown 2
That's
did,
always
where it's kind of a really cool way to, like, kind of just collect purely cosmetic things and show people that, you achieved this particular thing in a particular game.
Especially if you don't particularly go for the trophy hunting side of things, but wouldn't mind that thing to show that you're interested in that game, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit more personal to that game, generally.
Yeah.
Just an overall score type thing.
I had so many wrestling items in mine.
Can you guess it? Look, Coleman, I'm doing my surprised face.
Are you doing a surprise face?
I'm doing my surprised face. And my surprised voice as well.
I'm doing my you can't see me John Cena face, but I'm going to stop because it might pick up on the mic if I do it.
So anyway, apparently it's coming to Windows 10 first, PC Master Race, and then going to come to consoles. Probably, I'm guessing, around the time of Xbox One X. Yeah, so avatars in your face and on your telly. And, hey, Coleman, do you want to know what the bottom of an avatar shoe looks like?
No.
Boom!
No!
Like that. Looks like the bottom of a shoe.
I don't want to know that.
I'm so confused by what you're talking about right now.
Really? You don't remember that?
No.
From
No.
Previous E3
it
Xbox Avatar.
It wasn't the one you were at, was it, Tim?
No,
it
I don't
wasn't.
think so. I think it was the one before.
Oh, wait. Mention it to me at E3.
Yep.
Cool.
Anyway,
Moving on.
let's continue. Hey, Coleman,
Yes?
you're a filthy millennial, aren't you?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Well, that's all we need.
So yes. Yes. Are you a millennial? Technically, yes. That is just, yes, I am a filthy millennial.
I refuse to acknowledge I'm a millennial. I'm Generation Y.
That doesn't change the facts.
What year were you born?
Let's not talk about that right now.
Refusing to acknowledge the facts doesn't make them not facts.
Generation Y is in, oh my god, why is life so unfair?
Fake news, man. Fake news.
Fake news, right, okay. So, hey, guess who's coming back?
Slim Shady?
No,
Vanilla
sadly
Ice.
not. I did have a slimline shandy yesterday. That was quite
Lovely.
nice.
Very, very, very.
I thought so. Atari.
You're old, Atari.
Atari.
I remember them from my childhood.
They've died twice. They're on their third life.
They certainly are.
Their last attempt.
It is. They are but mere seconds away from needing to put another 20p in the machine.
Wasn't the last we heard of Atari,
We're making T-shirts.
Yeah, they basically sold the logo, the Atari logo, so that it could be used on T-shirts and stuff, and that was it.
Well, anyway, apparently a new Atari console or Atari video game device is on the way.
Right.
Atari, if it is indeed Atari, not just some people who've bought the logo and are just slapping on stuff willy-nilly, have released a bit of a teaser video which can only be described as extreme close-ups of parquet flooring.
Whoa!
So I think what they're going for is... It's a bit of a nod to the uber retro Atari 2600 with wood finish, which I was a proud owner of. Timothy, you were also a proud owner of that.
Yes, I still am a proud owner of one. Just one that I don't have a power pack for. But last time I had a power pack, it worked.
Yes, and Coleman, you were...
We were a Commodore family.
You're a thing.
We had a Commodore Plus 4.
But they did also show this console off at E3 as well.
Did they?
Yeah, I think it was on the show floor even.
I believe that was the Atari Flashback, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay, maybe that's where I saw pictures from then.
Okay, yeah, there's two consoles. There's the Atari Flashback 8.
Was that a big hole in the ground with lots of ET cartridges in it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Excellent, marvellous.
This is more of an Atari mini system like the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Mini Monkey, whatever the hell that was called.
Well, will they actually make more than 3 of them, unlike Nintendo?
So it's going to be one of those for Atari games. The Atari box, which is the new rumoured one, will be based on PC technology, and that's all we know so far.
So a processor, a hard drive, and a graphics card.
Yeah, pretty much. But this is meant to be a new console, not a little mini plug-in thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is super duper mysterious, their video. There is definitely some veneer, some wood finish veneer. I very much doubt it's real wood, which is, a constant disappointment to me in all areas of my life. No real wood, very disappointing.
Right.
It looks a bit like a slim PC, to be honest. I think I spy DisplayPort plugs.
Okay.
Have we lost you now? You're just going to be staring at this
I
image
just
for a
thought your
while?
mic had turned off, but it turns out you're actually having a stroke.
No, I was just trying to figure out where this is going. Dan's upset that he's
I'm
never got
trying
wood.
to identify what it should be like.
Okay.
You're all right. Fine.
right,
I'm just going to shut my face up.
You said that
I
it was
wanna
a
be the first to
you said
know.
it was a constant disappointment that you've never got wood, and I was very confused
I
by
know.
this statement.
No, because maybe it's a middle class thing. I got used to having real wood floors
Oh right, okay.
where I used to live. Now it is lino. It's glorified plastic,
It
basically.
happens to everyone at some point, Dan. Don't worry.
It does. Yeah.
Getting back to the video games, though, it's a weird time to launch another console of some description, no?
I mean,
It depends what market they're going after, really.
yeah, it depends on the nostalgic value.
I think they're going after the Ouya market.
No, because they're not f***ing idiots.
The
no,
lucrative
because they want to go
Ouya
for a market that exists.
Oh, right, okay.
Tim, how is your Ouya, by the way?
Somewhere it's all good.
I cleaned all the dust off of it.
Somewhere.
I breathed new life into
You
it.
two are quickly turning into Steptoe and Son, aren't you?
You dirty old man.
You dirty old man.
Instead of a junkyard, it's just a junkyard of old video game consoles.
I might
So
Photoshop
junkyard.
that.
Anyway, we've got absolutely no idea what it is.
It's console.
It's based on
Console.
PC
Based on PC
technology. Beyond
technology.
that, your guess is as good as mine.
You know what information I know because I wrote it on a document for us all to read. So there we go.
What wild speculation would you like to see?
I would like something based off of PC technology with a
Made of wood.
made of wood. I want real wood. Damn
No,
it!
I want real wood as well. I want real top quality wood is what I want.
I'm real knocked off by not being able to get any wood.
If it's bloody lino, I'm going to be upset.
Oak. I want
Yeah,
it made
him
out
too.
of oak.
You want oak?
I
Good
want
old-fashioned oak.
I want,
No, I
a
want
dark,
mahogany.
rich mahogany.
Or a
And
bit
many
of teal.
leather-bound books to surround it.
Mahogany.
Bit of teal.
A bit of teal.
I
He was
don't
in
know.
Stargate. He had
Yeah.
the parasite in him. So, hey up, lads. Teal here.
Hey up, bought my parasite along. It's called Neil.
I
Teal's
brought me
new.
Atari box.
Let's party.
They spoke about the guy that played that character on Geek Speak this week. I don't know if you heard it, but I went to a Dead Space event where he got very, very drunk.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I think I was at that one, wasn't I?
The new voice of Kratos, ladies and gentlemen.
So we got no idea what the Atari thing is, other than it's the thing. It's a thing. So go look at it. It's a thing.
It's a talking point to talk about, and it's exciting if you've ever owned an Atari, which I have.
I just hope it's more. I'd almost just rather. I would actually be happier if they did retrofitted a 2600 with an HDMI port and try and remake the Jaguar. To be fair,
No.
because the Jaguar was a terrible thing.
It was so badly. Like, soldering alone was awful. How anyone got that console to play?
Well, I just don't know what I thought. Do you know what? 27 buttons on a controller is a
that
really good
controller
idea.
was insane.
It was like holding a telephone book or something. And that's
It
something.
looked like a car crash between a keyboard and a controller.
It looked like a toilet. It looked like a small plastic toilet.
Mind you, quite a lot of the stuff, especially with its CD accessory, because it wasn't that flip top thing. It made it extra double down on the toilet vibe it was going
Yeah,
for.
that was what I was talking about.
So maybe, right, okay, the new Atari box is like emulating the lino flooring on the room, on the floor of the bathroom, and then there's going to be a plinth like a Jaguar where you can take a royal turd.
Since we won't know for some time, shall we move on?
Can we talk about Grand Theft Auto?
Oh yes, yeah, I'm not quite sure how Rockstar managed to really mess up this badly.
I don't think they did. I think Take-Two managed to mess this up badly.
So, one of the things, surprise, surprise, that GTA 5 is loved for on the PC is its wide-ranging set of mods. as the kids like to call it, modifications, as us upstanding chaps like to call it. But obviously some people use them for like tweaking graphics and making it look pretty. Other people use them for nefarious means.
Nefarious means.
And yet again, these arse hats mean that we can't have anything nice to play with. Because what happened, Coleman? I just can't face reading this anymore. Tell me.
Okay, so Take-Two Interactive, they've changed their terms and conditions for Grand Theft Auto 5. Now you are not allowed to do any form of modding as it's considered a form of cheating.
What?
So what they've done is they've sent a cease
You're now a cheat.
Yeah, now a cheat. So they've sent a cease and desist letter to Open4, well, the creators of Open4, which is probably the most popular modding tool at the moment. But the thing is, what they've done with this tool, they've been very, very careful since creating it to make sure that it's not against their terms and conditions, which they've suddenly changed in accordance with this. And also, you could only use it on the offline version of the game. You couldn't use it on GTA Online. You couldn't farm for cash or make yourself invisible or anything like that. So they got sent the cease and desist letter, and they've basically gone, look, we could take it to court. We think we're in the right, but we're not going to take it to court because that's time and money that we don't have. So they've just gone ahead and closed it down. You can still get it, but now if you you can find it from other sites, but if you log into GTA 5 or GTA Online, you get met with this lovely little warning message now that tells you that modding is against their law of Take-Two.
One of the things I particularly like about Grand Theft Auto 5 is how it teaches people, that rules are there to be respected.
Yeah, exactly.
And the rules are there to be respected, and that you should, obey these rules at all times and not at all try and subvert them. And I'm very pleased that they're clamping down on people having fun in a game that's been unfairly labelled a mayhem simulator.
Yeah.
And they definitely haven't made enough money out of it, so...
Nope.
Yeah, I've bought this game twice now.
Perhaps it was just so we can't monetize these mods.
I think, by the sounds of it, from talking to Coleman, though, it's more stopping, other people having fun online through other people cheating. So
yeah, I think the problem is that, so this version, Open4 wasn't, it didn't let you mod anything that went online, but there's another tool as well, Force Hacks, which is quite popular. That's a paid mod tool. I believe that one allowed you to cheat online. But what Take-Two did with them is they had them shut down and then basically went, okay, we're going to take you to court if you don't take all your earnings from selling this mod tool and donating it all to charity. So it's kind of like with one hand they take, the other they give to charity. It's really, really odd. But it's been really, really weird because Rockstar support mods. They popularize mods. They write posts on their blogs, drawing attention to a Batmobile or a graphics overhaul or an AI change that other people have made. So it's very weird that this suddenly happened, seemingly out the blue as well. And because of that, it's actually on the GTA 5 Steam reviews now. They've 13% of the reviews have been changed from positive to negative. And it's actually lowered the overall score.
It's currently sitting at mixed.
Oh, is it mixed now? Okay.
It is. It was overwhelmingly positive. I've just got to go through the age gate because clearly I might be a mouth-breathing millennial.
Right.
I'm sorry, Coleman, you're not a millennial.
That's better.
You technically are, though, and technically means that you actually are.
But I think in this day and age where kind of maintaining a community is so key to the success of games with an online component, which, let's face it, Grand Theft Auto 5 now heavily relies on, and or at least customizing the game to make it your own, I'm just baffled. I mean, I think what a lot of it comes down to is the fact that because it was DRM'd up the wazoo, so there was actual reverse engineering of some code going on. So I think that's actually what it sticks on. But even so, there's better ways to solve this than threatening people who are doing something for free for the good of the games community.
I don't know that there is, though. Once they've taken the decision that if they do want to cut out people genuinely cheating and harming people that have paid good money in good faith to play the game type thing, if they've taken that decision, then there's probably a necessary set of steps they have to do. Like, they can't say, well, we're going to stop these people from doing it, but not these people. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes very grey areas, especially in law related to video games, I would imagine, as well.
Well, I think it's probably, frankly, it's just easier just to ban everything.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And so,
just ban a lot of them.
That looks bad, but it's probably by far the easiest thing to do, so it's the way it gets implemented. So
yeah. It's weird. I was talking about this with a friend who is predominantly a PC gamer, but he also has consoles as well. And
yeah, sure.
He's kind of agreed, not Kev. He has agreed that like GTA 5 on the PS4 and the Xbox One and the PC, they're very, very minutely different. The only big reason to buy it on the PC is for the mods, and that's been the pure driving force. So it's really weird that they went to this decision.
I also feel sorry for anyone that's spent a lot of time crafting a mod
Yeah.
for the purpose, especially if it was something that, hadn't actually released yet or they hadn't got out in the wild or whatever. But yeah, anyway, as you say, it's not the best way to handle things maybe, but perhaps it was the only way that it could be handled.
I wonder how many purchases of the PC version were influenced because there would be mod support.
Yeah, and maybe that's something where they might find that they'll lose PC support going forward for their games. But you imagine that they're so big that they probably won't.
I mean, well, that's one of the reasons why consoles have, were so attractive, was because they are that walled garden. They can,
sexy consoles.
Yes, they can do their thing in there, and it's certainly a lot more difficult for people to kind of get at and hack the games. It's not impossible, of course, but it's certainly they can't. On a PC, if you can be bothered, you can be digging around in a game's undercarriage and dingle dangles before you know it. Really,
Dingle dangles.
that's a technical term.
Blimey.
Dingle.dangle.slash.exe is what it is. It's a sexy exe. I don't like the heat.
I was going to sound. It sounded like you were doing some kind of upper class beatbox by the sound of it just then.
That's also good. The only other thing I was going to say on the whole thing was it strikes me as odd as well because it cuts off a route into the company for some people sometimes. Like you hear a lot about game people actually hiring modders that have done a significant amount of work with the game and actually bringing them in-house to do stuff. Now, that's obviously something that will go away without modding as well, but hey.
Hey ho.
Hey ho.
Hey ho!
That's the news. It's still hot. My brain is melting. Now, do we want to talk? Do we want to do our E3 scorecard, or do we want to talk about what we done played?
We should do what we done played because time.
Yes, that sounds good. So anyway, I've continued delving into the hairy underbelly, or the dingle dangles, if you will, of
There he goes with that upper class beatbox.
yeah, yes. What would an upper class beatbox sound like?
You.
Yeah, you.
But the thing is, it's very different. It's very difficult to phonate the sound of a harpsichord, which I think is what a true upper class beatbox would be able to reproduce. It's a very difficult sound to reproduce with your man
working
apparatus.
On that, Dan.
Yeah.
With you and your butlers, come up with a string quartet or something.
But I've only got one butler. I need another two.
Yeah, but your butler has a butler and his butler has a butler, so that's okay.
Oh, Inception butlers is what I have, clearly.
Yes, that's how butlery you are.
Yes, exactly. So instead of a bell, it's the noise is that I get to summon my butlers, who then have to summon their butlers and their butlers as well.
That's why you're upper middle class.
Yep.
Because your butler has a butler.
Why are you summoning your butlers using the Inception horn?
Keeps them on their toes, really,
It's an excellent way to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like God farted.
Should we do what we done played fine?
So anyway, I'm still. I've managed to overclock my PC.
Yes.
And it didn't blow up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that? Have you strained something? Do you need to see yourself?
No, but I wrung a whole extra gigahertz out of it, which I'm actually pretty impressed by.
Oh, well done you.
So
what are you doing with your extra gigahertz?
More stuff.
What stuff are you doing?
Playing Minecraft in 4K.
Minesweeper, actually.
Oh, Minesweeper.
And there's no Minesweeper on Windows 10, actually, I don't think.
No, I know.
I've had Microsoft Solitaire Collection. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, get in. They've got achievements now, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. And I've been enjoying a little bit of Candy Crush Saga. That's pretty sweet.
Who are you and what have you done with Dan?
Yeah, no. Well, I've been playing all kinds of stuff on
Destiny.
I've been playing all kinds of stuff on the old PC, which is quite nice. So yeah, been dabbling in a bit of Forza Horizon 3, which is very super smooth and super sexy. Kev has basically kind of he's got like mind control. I talk with Kevin. Next thing I know, I'm buying a game. Because he made it sound like there was loads of people in the PC Master Race. Turns out it's only Kev. But no, me and him we've been digging around in some Blizzard stuff and all kinds of bits and bobs. And yeah, I'm still, to be honest, I am. I'm using an Xbox One controller on my PC. I'm not going to lie. Mouse look makes my brain hurt. I used to be able to do it when I was 14. Now it's too quick and it makes me confused, and I just want my medication to be tucked up in bed with some Horlicks.
Yes. Nurse!
Yeah, it is. But no, it's I am enjoying the kind of the tinkering and the tweaking and the very, very pretty graphics. The graphics are the pretties. But actually, it's nowhere. Overclocking these days is nowhere near as hard as it used to be. But obviously, in these hot temperatures, yeah, that's not quite so good. PC building has been the fun.
Good.
It's got in the way of Destiny, which is probably a good thing for me.
Weaning yourself off Destiny?
Well, Destiny 2. The Destiny 2 beta is coming out 2 weeks. You know, I just got to give myself a little bit of a cleansing break. A cleanse. It's like kind of a video game equivalent of a coffee enema.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of wakes you up and cleans you out all at the same time.
Okay.
Yes, I have no idea what I'm on about. Someone else should probably start talking
I
now.
kind of checked out a little while ago.
Yeah, good. So did I, but sadly no one told my mouth.
Well, if you're not taking this seriously, neither am I.
Exactly. Anyway, long and short of it is, actually, PC gaming, quite a lot of fun. And it's good fun building your own system and then tinkering with it. And it hasn't blown up yet.
Cool. Let's do Marvel Heroes thing again at some point. Tim's now playing it.
Hey!
He's got a Punisher.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well done, Timothy. What have you punished?
Everything that gets in my way.
Right, okay. At a glorious 15 frames a second.
Yeah.
He's
it
punished
does
Venom.
chug a few times, but...
The Shocker.
Well done, Timothy.
Yeah,
Goblin.
no, it seems alright. I think it'd be more fun with more people as well, no?
Yes.
So we should all play together sometime.
Yes.
Come
Get
to
Kevin
the
on this.
PC.
No! the hell would
I'll
I do
admit
that?
it is more fun to play on the PC.
Well, possibly. There might be more frame rate.
But we should.
There might be
we should do
more frame
PlayStation.
rate.
There is
I
a
knew
lot more
you'd like
frame
that one,
rate.
Dan. But yeah, no, that seems alright. That seems okay. And yeah, we should play some more. But yeah, the other thing that seemed okay is something else that you played that was Marvel as well. No, I played too. Not you, Dan, but Coleman. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite demo.
did you play
Ooh,
it?
how is that?
Interesting.
Right. Interesting
Yes.
good or interesting no thanks?
So it's a story demo.
Right.
Just single player. You can't play.
Which
any
is very
two-player.
odd for a fighting game, just to make that
It
statement
depends.
up front.
Some have really good stories to them, like
No,
Injustice.
but it's very odd for them to put out a story demo rather than an online
and
or offline.
quite a lengthy one as well.
Two-player.
But that seemed to put a lot of people off when playing it, saying, why would you put out a demo that harms the overall game? But I actually really enjoyed playing the story mode. I thought it was funny. The difficulty seemed to be turned down to beginner or easy, but I enjoyed what I played.
But you're a beginner and easy, so...
Hey. The hell?
Jesus.
Getting called a millennial, I'm getting called a something or other, I'm getting called...
He was
easy.
implying you were the little spoon as well there, Coleman, and I think that's particularly
I
offensive.
think you'll find I'm the goddamn ladle!
Something that you only use once in a while and is just annoying to put into storage. Is that what a ladle is?
Yes.
When did you seriously last use a ladle?
In a soup kitchen. Anyway, that's not true. But but yeah, I played the Marvel thing as well, the Marvel vs. Capcom thing, and I had to say, like, I liked it, and I kind of wouldn't mind playing more of it, but at the same time, it seems less hectic than it previously was, and I'm not entirely sure whether I like or dislike that. Because before you had 3 characters, and now it's down to 2 characters
Yeah, they've
per
gone back
team.
to 2 on 2.
And that seems a bit more sedate and a bit more like... Before you could have, like, both your teammates coming out and doing assist moves, and that could be quite overpowered at times, basically.
But I can see why they've done it in terms of having the story, because, just having these sort of buddy up 2 characters together, it does really work. I mean, sticking Thor and... is it Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sir Arthur. Those 2 together is genius.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Arthur refers to Thor as a heathen god, and he refers to Arthur as a smart, tiny man. So that's cute.
And I also like the Rocket and Dante team up.
Yes, that's in the trailer as well.
Yeah. But see, that's got some nice touches to it, and yeah, I guess if that continues throughout the single player game, I'm definitely interested. But yeah, I don't know. Like, there was something for me that the defining characteristic of Marvel versus Capcom versus anything else was the fact that it was this massive, hectic mess that somehow worked. Whereas, like, Street Fighter is the kind of one-on-one combat. Like, Tekken Tag was always the tag team thing for me. And then Marvel was one step more bonkers than that, basically.
Right.
And yeah, this isn't quite that, but I don't think I dislike it entirely. It's just different from what I'm used to getting from that in my fighting game lineup.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I'm going to probably play it again.
Yeah, as I said, I'll be keen to play some more when it comes out.
Yeah, and when is it out?
I don't know.
Top journalism,
Don't
boys.
ask
Top
difficult
journalism.
questions.
That's some good podcasting.
Why, Dan, it releases on the 19th of September, 2017.
There you
Wow.
go, just before my birthday and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, dropping his hints.
Yeah.
Well, you've had something else strapped to your face that I'm keen to hear about.
Is it Tim? Because you're, as we've established, the ladle in that relationship.
With no ladles and little spoons or anything else.
So if you're a ladle, is Tim like a spork?
So anyway, I've been playing SUPERHOT VR.
Right.
Yeah,
How
you
familiar?
Have you vomited yet?
No. How familiar are you two with SUPERHOT?
Super. Hot.
Semi.
Super.
Played
Hot.
the console game, and on hearing about the VR, and the reason why I'm extra keen to hear from you about this is the HTC Vive version you played, but it is coming to PSVR soon.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm extra
Superhot's a
keen to
great
hear.
game. And for those of you who don't know, first of all, get out from under that rock. But the whole premise of Superhot is that everything in the world only moves when you move.
Yeah, you're in like a polygonal computer simulation, white walls and orange bad guys and then black objects that you can interact with. If you hit a bad guy with an object or shoot them with a gun, then they shatter into pieces. And the whole thing, it's set in like a weird simulation, so there's kind of some real world stuff that bleeds into the game, and then it's got this whole weird conspiracy storyline that opens up the further you get into the game. This version is in VR, so same principles, you move forward, everything moves, you stop, everything stops. I think it's hard to tell as well. I think it's also tied into looking around using your head.
Yeah, I'd heard that, I think so.
Yeah, I think that was the case. I may have to try play it again. So, put on the headset, I think you had to hold a gun first, and then the gun shattered, and then it loads up your level, and then all of a sudden I'm on a stairwell with 3 dudes running straight at me.
Or Saturday night, as you like to call it.
So, punch one in the face, it shatters, punch one in the
Next thing
stomach,
I know,
it shatters.
I've changed into a ladle, and it's all very confusing.
Okay. But it starts off nice and easy like that, and then weapons start coming in, and rather than using a sort of... in the first-person shooter, it was kind of easy to throw weapons. This time you're actually throwing the weapons. You've got to do your own aiming and your own force, so... You need to know, you need to play it a couple of times to get the hang of that. But once you do, it is so satisfying. Like, one of the levels that started up is in a kitchen, tucked behind like a long cooker stove type thing. And then all of a sudden, on the shelves around me, there are plates and there are pans holding above me. So I grab a plate and a pan. Someone shoots a bullet at me. I put the pan to deflect the bullet and then throw a plate at him. And then while the guy shatters, he throws his gun into the air, catch the gun, start shooting all the other people. It's John Woo Simulator. This
That is
game,
amazing.
This is now my favourite VR game, and it's at room scale as well on HTC Vive. So
Wow.
the
Spinning around
movement is
everywhere.
just so. Yeah, I was doing moves like I would get down onto one knee to catch to pick up a shotgun while I'm dual wielding with the other arm shooting at guys, and then. With the shotgun, I then spin round to the other knee and start firing. I was like, I hope that looked as cool as it felt. It probably did.
What would be brilliant would be if in kind of like the after action report thing, it actually showed you the video feed from what you actually look like.
Yeah, from your body movements.
There is a way of doing that. I might actually have to do this. I might have to get some video footage of me playing. Because I'm sure, if anything, if I can sync it up, it's going to look really cool on my side, and on the other side I'm just like falling over and stuff. Yeah, I didn't pull anything this time. I didn't rip anything this time. So
Did you warm up properly?
do you know what? I very nearly tore the groin of my jeans while I was almost doing the splits in this game.
Jesus.
But I didn't do myself any actual injuries until the next day where all my muscles hurt.
It does sound like The Matrix meets Job Simulator.
Yes. Yeah, that kind of satisfaction of, holding things and throwing things.
Objects at people.
But yeah, feeling like you're in a John Woo or a Matrix or a Resident Evil movie or something is so satisfying. Going in, I was just thinking, how's this I thought it was just a view on Superhot, not an entirely brand new game. And then coming out of it, this is now my favourite VR game.
That is good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that on PSVR.
Yeah, so it's coming to PSVR as well. That's a single track camera to the headset.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well it's going to come across. Well, we'll have to see when it comes out. But if it everything's kind of forward facing, even though you can move a full 360 motion in the game. So I'm assuming that will translate well to PlayStation 4.
Cool.
Plus, it's on Oculus Rift as well, so that's a single camera setup as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it is very good. If you can play it on Vive, I highly recommend you do that.
Splendid.
Ooh. Right, so I'm moving on to something that I've had strapped to my face for some portion of time. Going with that.
It
But
wasn't me.
you may not see this one coming, Dan, but yeah.
Was it a ladle? What?
No, but Chess Ultra.
A?
Well, for start,
Is it anything like Battle Chess? Because if it is, I'm interested.
Well, no.
is what I
but
said.
I'm quite the reverse, and I've started writing a written review for this, and I've already said pretty much
As opposed to writing writing a picture.
Anyway, right, but
Idiot.
basically, I actually quite like the fact that it isn't that. Like, anytime you hear about a chess, or a lot of the time when you hear about chess games, especially in the tabletop world at the moment, it seems to be like a variation on chess with additional players or additional pieces or different rules. And this is very much just chess, but it has actually thrown a few extra bells and whistles and actually a reason to have a chess game in that regard as well. For one, and this is one thing I didn't get to take advantage of, it's got 4K, which I guess isn't the best thing in the world. Like, I don't think you really necessarily need 4K for this. But for me, and the thing that I was more interested in is the fact that it's got VR in it as well. And you wouldn't necessarily know that to look at
I have a
the
question.
game. Yeah, go on.
How much does a VR headset cost?
Lots of money. And look, this isn't...
How much does a copy of Chess Ultra cost?
I don't even know, actually. I have to look that up.
10 quid.
But £10. Oh, there you go.
Okay, how much
That's very
does
reasonable,
a chess set cost?
Probably more than £10.
Depends where you get one from.
And depends what you're
does it
making
cost
out
as much
of.
as a VR helmet
No.
and a copy of Chess Ultra? So why not just buy a chess set?
You could buy a chess set for more than a VR headset.
This isn't necessarily a reason to buy a VR headset, but it's something where it's another good thing to have and a cheap game to pick up that actually plays along with it. And even though there's not much point to it, in I think 3 of the 4 environments, it's just literally a 3D environment. And the environments got some variation to them. They've got like objects and stuff related to the type of room you're in, and some of those objects are more annoying than others because there's a phone that's really bloody annoying and means I don't play in that level anymore. But in one level, and this is the one that's particularly good with the VR, is the fact that you're playing against the Grim Reaper, and that's quite cool. Playing against a character is more interesting than just playing opposite an empty chair. But then it's also got move support as well, where you can actually individually pick up the pieces and stuff as well. As I said, it's a bit weird with not really giving you too much indication that there is VR support. It doesn't say anything in any of the menus, and I was like, okay, is there an extra mode coming? Because usually you often go into a separate bit to go into a VR thing, or it's just a game designed for VR and it's a bit differently set up. But yeah, there was no necessary indication that you could do this. Like, you could own this game and a VR headset and not know you could do this necessarily. But if you turn it on, you then get control of the menus by whichever like menu you look at is the one that you can pick rather than having to like scroll through them and stuff, basically.
So what is the USP here? Why is this any different than me just popping down, I don't know, WH Smith's and buying me a chess set?
Well, you can play online with people, obviously. That makes a difference.
Yep.
It's got multiplayer stuff. It has actually got a fairly extensive, but not quite as extensive, I hope, but fairly extensive tutorial type mode as well to take you through if you're not familiar with the actual game.
If you can't remember how the horsey moves. I mean, one of the things that actually looks quite cool to me about Chess Ultra, and this is kind of embracing, I don't know if it's a bit late to the party on this, but you can play against the Gestalt hive mind of Twitch.
Yes, now that's quite. That's something I haven't messed around with, but maybe we'll do that for Extra Life or something. That could be quite good fun. But yeah, that's obviously a new bit of technology and integrated that does set it apart a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in the loop for this, but I definitely haven't heard of another chess game that did that.
No. I can't think of one either. I think it's quite because that's how I can remember my granddad back in the 1700s, Coleman. He used to play chess by correspondence with a couple of his buddies from who he used to be in the army with. And it is literally that. They would write a move on a bit of paper, pop it in the post, and that's how they do it. So it's a bit like chess by correspondence, but with a bunch of inhabitants of Twitch, which I'm not sure we've got an appropriate collective noun for yet, but there we go.
A twatch. Anyway, obviously that's good, and as I said, for me it was more the embracing the VR technology that was good. One other thing that I hadn't seen in a chess game before, it probably has been in other ones, I don't remember seeing it, and it's not in ones that I've played, was that it had almost like a puzzle type mode of getting your opponent into check within a certain number of moves. So there was one that was all just within a single move. There's a set of them within 2 moves and so on and so forth. But yeah, that was quite cool. And it literally plays like a little puzzle game where you've got to figure out which moves it is that will get your opponent into check within that limited number of moves, basically. And yeah, that was quite cool. The VR technology thing was good, and that worked well. It does make the graphics a little bit more fuzzy, which was only really a problem. Some of the pieces aren't that distinguishable. You get various different sets and various different materials they can be made out of. And the classic set wasn't really too much of a problem with the different colour schemes. But one of the other sets, it was harder to tell. And there was a stripy set type thing where it's a bit harder to tell the pieces apart. Obviously, you can generally tell them apart from which way they're facing and stuff like that. But that could be a bit more tricky. And it was especially more of a problem when you were going into the puzzle mode type things where, it was the check in a certain number of moves because you hadn't necessarily set up all those pieces and didn't know what was going on with it.
But that must be an option you can change though. Surely you can say, please use this set for me.
You can just pick whichever set you prefer. I was just trying to play through all of them and see, what they had to offer, sort of thing.
Which is the chess grandmaster equivalent of demanding a bowl of only blue M&Ms as your rider.
But there's a fire and brimstone type set and a bit more kind of elaborate things. But I like playing with just a classic, normal sort of wooden piece set type thing.
That ain't no school like the old school.
But presentation of the menus and stuff was all very bland. Like, it's all kind of browns and creams and greys, which kind of doesn't work quite as well as it should, but kind of suits the style, I guess. But it's got a good range of options in terms of, like, playing with players locally, various different levels, all the way up to like Grandmaster of different AI opponents you can go up against online. As I said, it's got the VR to play around with as well. So yeah, as I said, I didn't even know it was as low as £10. I would have guessed it would have been a little bit more, but I'm quite pleased with the bit that I've got to play, and yeah, it seems like a well-made game, basically.
I really thought we were about to go into a 2-hour discussion about the colours in the menus there for a moment. I was hovering over my keyboard to send Coleman a message going, quick, garrot him, he's about to talk about menus.
It's a pity that, like, the clarity of the VR headset, because there's nothing that breaks my immersion of a chess set more than taking away my vision.
Then what?
Like, if it's a little bit blurry, it takes me right out of that chess game.
Yeah.
Whoa. I need my HD. I need my 4K, 5K chess.
You see, playing chess just isn't immersive unless you've got someone beating the crap out of you for being a member of chess club. Really,
I need chess on the Xbox One X. X chess.
Chess box
Ultra.
mate.
Yeah.
What's it going to be called?
Hey, do you want to hear about Perception?
Yep.
Cool. So you remember BioShock? That was a game. That was a game
that
series.
Was a thing.
And then following the studio being downsized to become more of a mobile studio, which I think they're now building back up again. I don't know. It's weird. Irrational's a weird place. But they, a lot of their teams split out to go make other games. So We Happy Few is one in development at the moment. Mm-hmm. Perception was one of the big ones that popped up. And this is what I've been playing on the PlayStation 4. And it's kind of taking the idea of, in Daredevil where he uses sonar and everything's got this kind of blue outline to it in the movie?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of using that. This character gets her sight from sound, so it might be a wind going through a window or a radio playing or something, and then the corresponding sound waves give an outline of any furniture, obstacles, stairs, that kind of thing in front of you. But also she has the ability she walks around with a cane so she can smack it on the floor and then create a little shock wave of sound for her to use that way. So this game, you're playing as a woman who, as a young girl, she remembers being in this large mansion and she has nightmares about this mansion. So she takes it upon herself, being a blind woman, to go on her own to creepy, empty mansion and explore and see why it appears in her dreams and nightmares.
Right.
The further you go... So the only thing I'd really seen about this game was the mechanic, the blind mechanic, and I thought that was a really cool idea. And when I heard the guys from BioShock were working on this, I thought, hell, I'll give this a go. And the further I get in, it goes from... The whole thing's meant to be more of a narrative type game, but there is an option to take off any of like the running thoughts in the character's head, so literally it's just all exploring, no narration to it.
Right.
But playing on its own, I thought this was going to be a whole story thing, and then I got to a point and I found like a wicker basket, and then the button pops up saying hide. I'm like, what do I need to hide in the... Oh, god damn it, I'm playing a horror game and I didn't notice. So...
You got horrored.
I got horrored. And it's the kind of modern type jump scary horror, the monstrums, and I forget most of the games on the market, but anyway, the whole point is you need noise to see. If you make too much noise, monsters will hear you and they will hunt you down. But there's only a couple of hiding places. It might be like a table pressed against a wall, or it's mostly wicker baskets. There's a lot of wicker baskets in this game to hide in.
So is it a first person point of view, or is it kind of third person?
Yes, it's all in first person.
Did you say VR?
No VR.
No, you did not.
Because this sounds like it would be fantastic in VR.
I wouldn't be surprised if that comes later, because much like Monstrum is the same type of game. The more you're exploring an old ship in this point in a dockyard, and the more noise you make opening doors and rattling things around, the more likely a monster is to jump out at you. And because I previewed that game a while ago, and then a little bit down the line they added Oculus support, so I could totally see them patching in support on this. I don't know if there are any plans to do it, but it would totally work. Because horror games work well with VR, because YouTubers like to make videos and then put a thumbnail image of them going with a VR headset on, and that's how they get popular.
How's that job hunt going?
Yeah, cheers, man. Cheers.
Is that what you've reduced yourself to now?
That's it. I just play Perception and jump all the time. Jump scares aren't that bad.
Try opening packs of FIFA cards. I think that's good.
I think because most of the background is just black darkness, it kind of puts you on edge all the time that something might jump out at you, especially when you know that is a possibility. So...
Isn't that just a general possibility in life, Coleman?
Yeah, maybe. But the more so you play, the more you're on edge, the more you're anticipating something to jump out at any moment. So the jump scares kind of wear off after a little while. But the game itself, it seems short. I haven't finished it yet. But I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end by
Right.
the trophy counts and stuff.
Okay.
But it's an interesting
Trophy
idea.
counter.
I don't particularly like the game itself. I like the mechanics, but again, it was I thought this was going to be an interesting story narrative, and it kind of is. It's quite a creepy story. The voice acting, it's a lot of finding recordings and reading a letter that the character's voice.
Now
will
you know
have.
it was made by the people that made BioShock.
Yeah.
I mean, is it that they don't make enough of the core mechanic? Does it descend into being a gimmick a bit too quickly rather than being used in interesting ways?
Yeah, I could see why they turned it into a horror game, because as soon as I found out I could smack a stick on the floor and it would go bang, and then all the noise would outline, I just walked around constantly spamming it until it went, hey, monsters might be able to hear you, by the way, because that unlocks after a certain point. I really like the mechanic, but I think because it's it's quite a secluded space, the mansion that you're walking around in, that it doesn't feel like there's too much challenge to it, and there's an abundance of things that are constantly making noise around you. So there's no real risk to it other than a jump scare if you make too much noise, but you don't really get penalized, lost, or anything for not making enough noise at all. But yeah, I like the mechanic. I think a larger setting would have suited it. Definitely needed some more work on the story, especially in the voice acting department. But it's interesting. If you find it on a sale price, I would say pick it up in that case. I don't know about picking it up new. I'm not sure how much it is straight away. But yeah, if you like horror games, then this is probably one for you. If you don't like horror games and you're interested in a BioShock type perspective with a blind woman, not so much.
Good on them for trying. That's what I say. We like a trier.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, so we can point and laugh as they inevitably fall over and up royally.
Oh my god.
Whoa. How are we doing for time, peoples?
Over, so we need to...
Oh, no. I kind of want to talk about Dirt 4, but I'll talk about that next week. Other than the fact that it is a good rally game.
No.
Good.
No.
Good.
I've heard the diametric opposite from most people, so we'll talk about that next week.
I wanted to hear about Mortal Blitz, because it sounds a bit like Ballroom Blitz.
We will talk about
Mortal
that
Blitz.
next week as well, then, Colin.
Mortal Wombat is what I would
That's
like to
something
hear
else
about.
I had strapped to my face. You could have that strapped to your face this week as well, Coleman.
Yeah, I probably
will.
will,
We'll talk about it
actually.
more next week.
Because Tim could have been doing his review, and then me and Dan could have been doing a hilarious thing in the background, going Mortal Blitz, dum dum dum, Mortal Blitz, dum dum.
That would have been hilarious.
Hilarious. Oh well.
Hilarious.
Another time.
Hilarious. Anyway, we probably ought to shut the heck up, ladies and gentlemen, and sashay on out of here. So, Timothy, it's Tuesday. Tell me about Tuesday.
Well, this Tuesday, in a continuation of our video game-themed card and board games for the next few weeks, a whole month of them, and we've had a couple of weeks.
It's chess, isn't it?
No,
VR chess.
No, not quite. But yeah, this week
3D.
is the Final Fantasy trading card game. So yeah, come along, learn how to play that, and you can possibly win yourself a copy just by coming along and playing. Every week we are in the loading bar in Dalston in North London, and it's free to come and join us. You can win a game for free just by trying it out on the evening that it is the feature game. So yeah, come join us. And also extra prizes at the moment, because we're doing an extra prize draw on top of that. For anyone that's been entered into any of the prize draws for the previous week, you will also get entry into a super prize draw at the end of the month, where we'll be giving away lots of video game goodies, mostly t-shirts, but also some other bits and bobs.
And I seem to recall Tim saying he's giving away his PSVR as well. If you remember a couple of shows back, he definitely said that, didn't he, Dan?
Oh, he definitely said that.
So raffling off his PSVR.
Yeah, he is. No. He's going to give all the money to charity as well.
Yep. Same charity as the guys who made the cheat engine for.
Yeah. So remember, if Tim doesn't raffle off his PlayStation VR, he's stealing food from the cold hands of hungry children.
Dead corpse.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's so
probably
remember, Tim would put his own entertainment on his face above the needs of starving children. Would you give away Tim's PSVR, Coleman?
I mean, it depends if he's not looking.
See, the best way to distract me, though,
I'm
is
straight off to CEX, mate. I'll get a fiver for that.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, exactly. Just raffle the PSVR with Tim still inside it.
He'll play all the games you don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. He'll tell you in excruciating details what the menus you can't see look like. Anyway, we ought to say thank you to some people.
Yeah.
So, from the iTunes section of the iTunes, I would like to say thank you to Tanturis from the United Kingdom, who says we're a tour de force in podcasting greatness and would like more Destiny in the show.
No.
This was written by you, wasn't it, Dan?
No, it was not written by me. It was written by my mate. As far as I can work out, because he sent me a WhatsApp message on June the 19th going, where can I review the show? I've meant to for ages. So on iTunes, mate.
I like it.
Wicked, sorted. So anyway, and so thank you, Chorus or Tanturis, whoever you may be.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Tanturis.
And I would like to also thank Stingo, Aurochs, War Machine, and Stealthy Joe from the forums.
Mm-hmm. And both Aurochs and Stealthy Joe were at this week's Tabletop Tuesday just gone, but hey. Well, actually, no. Stealthy Joe was there this week. They were both there the week before. But anyway.
Cool story.
Also, thank you very much to Mr. Will Driver, Spencer H., Sad Wizard,
Aww.
Alexander Hamilben. Is that right? Hamilben?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like a play on Hamilton.
Okay, and Andy Baines.
And Robs0211, Nelly, Dan Mansell, and Mark Fawcett.
Hey!
Just quickly to say as well, thank you to anyone that got in contact with me over next week's 250th episode. All the prep work has been almost completed.
Oh, prep
No
work.
one else get in contact. I'm good now. I'm good. And that's...
Is it just going to be an hour's worth of you playing that bloody Eat My Dust sound clip?
Luckily for you, I've already disconnected the soundboard, so we won't know.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, but seriously, thank you to anyone that got in contact. I've been after some help doing some mystery projects that
Mystery
projects.
Not even I know.
Not even
Tim
knows.
I know, but I don't know a lot of things. Tim knows even fewer things.
But I will
I
say,
would argue with this.
if you haven't been in contact and you want to be involved in the show, then make sure that you leave us a review on iTunes or go to forums or go to Twitter or Facebook to give us a comment, because then, of course, we can read your messages out on the show.
Yeah, or just buy a ticket for the raffle for Tim's VR headset.
Yeah,
No!
Tim loves the VR raffle.
He loves it.
He loves it.
He absolutely cannot wait to raffle that off for small hungry children.
That's the hipster equivalent of a meat raffle.
No. He's not. I just want to make that clear. He's not exchanging his headset to have some live-in small hungry children, because a lot of people in the BBC got in a lot of trouble for that. All right,
Come here, you.
Hungry, haha.
I paid a $5. Get here.
Poke him with a stick every now and again.
God. You can't
Anyway,
text food.
we probably ought to get out of here, don't you think, boys?
Probably advisable.
Probably a good plan.
Because it is as hot as Satan's nutsack in the room where
God,
I am at the
yes.
moment.
It's getting a tad fresh.
Having windows closed may be podcast friendly, but it's not human friendly.
No.
Nope. Oh, I've made the front of my shirt go transparent. Look at that. Lovely.
Da 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 da.
Red Hot Dan.
No, it's not quite the same when it's your own hairy man tits. Anyway, let's get going. I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim, maybe.
Harry Mantits.
So without further ado, thank you ever so much for listening. Make sure you head on over to www.BigRedBarel.com or just put /BigRedBarel after the front bit of the internet address of your favourite social media platform and just see what happens. Who knows, you might find something. Thank you ever so much for listening.
Wait.
What?
Oh, what?
Dave got married.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations
yeah.
to Dave.
Dave got married. Thanks for the invite, mate.
Sorry we couldn't come.
Sorry you couldn't come, but we didn't know about it. But seriously, Dave, congratulations. We're all very, very happy for you. And
Good work.
And hopefully that means he's now back on the normal radar of everything else. So hopefully you hear a bit more of Dave more generally, which would be nice.
But not on the most recent of Big Red Barrel Cast, because that was me.
Yes.
I was Dave this week.
You were Dave's.
Yes.
So, so hopefully at some point soon, Dave shall return, triumphant, having slipped a ring on his finger and consummated the out of some poor woman.
Whoa.
His wife?
But that, yeah,
I
her.
hope so.
Anyway, on that note, we're going to go. So thank you ever so much for listening. We truly appreciate it. And hopefully we shall speak at you next week. So without further ado, thank you ever so much for listening. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com.
So my name is Dan. I was previously known as Captain Average, and the artist formerly known as Mighty Mutt is Tim.
Hello!
And the artist formerly known as Yamster is John.
Hello!
He wears kilts and skirts, and that's...
shut up.
But anyway, we do
right,
have another
okay.
man and with us, and the closest we could find was also a man with long hair and a slightly dodgy beard. It's Kev, the ultimate video game hipster. How are you doing, sir?
Apparently all it took to finally get me on the podcast was for me to buy a console that no one cares about.
And the exceptionally well-behaved guest we have this week, because we are yet again scot-free. He didn't feel like doing a Thursday,
He told us
so
in advance
instead
that
we
Thursday
drafted in yet
wasn't gonna
another
be
denizen of
Thursday.
London town, none other than the artist formerly known as the Phenomenal C. It's Coleman. Say hello, sir.
Well, hello there, sir.
Juggernaut.